There is a window of time that the world's most productive people have been quietly protecting for decades. It exists before the demands of other people begin, before the notifications start, before the emails, the meetings, the noise. The world's most effective CEOs, military commanders, and elite athletes have discovered that the first 2 to 4 hours of the day, structured with precision and protected with discipline, are worth more to their output than the remaining 8 hours combined. This isn't about waking up at 4 a.m. It's about what you do with undisrupted time before the world starts pulling at you. Sleep is not the enemy, and 4 a.m. is not the point. The point is this: the people who produce the most extraordinary results in the most demanding environments have designed their mornings, not defaulted into them. They know exactly what the first 90 minutes of their day will look like before they open their eyes. They have eliminated decision fatigue before breakfast. They have protected their highest cognitive state for their highest leverage work. Today, we break down the architecture of a high-performance morning. The 5 structural elements that elite CEOs build their days around. Not as rigid prescription. As a design framework you can adapt to your own life and context. Tim Cook, CEO of Apple, reportedly begins his day before 4 a.m. Not to answer emails. Not to check news. To have uninterrupted thinking time before the world's inputs begin. This is not coincidental among high performers. It's a designed structural advantage. The first cognitive state of the day is your clearest. Neuroscience suggests that the prefrontal cortex, responsible for complex thinking, strategic planning, and high-quality decision-making, operates at peak capacity before it has been depleted by incoming stimuli. The moment you check your phone, you have handed your best thinking hours to other people's agendas. This is structural element 1, the no-input window. The first 30-60 minutes of every morning belong exclusively to output, thinking, planning, writing, or physical training, before any information comes in. No phone, no email, no news, nothing in, only out. This window, protected consistently, compounds into a structural cognitive advantage that most of your competition will never access. Elite performers structure their mornings around a single anchoring activity that signals to the brain, high performance mode has begun. For Jocko Willink, former Navy SEAL commander, it's a pre-dawn workout, documented daily at 4:30 a.m. as a form of accountability and standard setting. For Ray Dalio, founder of Bridgewater Associates, it's transcendental meditation, 20 minutes twice daily that he credits as foundational to his performance and clarity. For others, it's cold exposure, journaling, or intensive reading. The specific activity matters less than the consistency and the intensity signal it sends. This is structural element 2, the anchor habit. The practice: identify one 20 to 30-minute activity that reliably produces a high-alert, high-clarity mental state for you. Make it the first thing you do every morning, before it can be negotiated away by circumstances. An anchor habit performed 300 days a year compounds into a structural performance advantage that separates you from people operating on motivation rather than architecture. Warren Buffett's approach to daily prioritization is deceptively simple. He identified the practice of knowing his single most important task before opening any communication tool. Gary Keller documented the framework in The One Thing. What is the one thing that, if completed today, would make everything else easier or unnecessary? The average knowledge worker arrives at work and begins responding to emails, to colleagues, to whatever arrived most recently. The elite performer identifies the single highest leverage output of the day first, then builds the schedule around protecting time for it. This is structural element 3, the priority identification ritual. The execution: each morning before opening any communication tool, write 3 words. The one thing, then answer the question. Write it at the top of the day. Every scheduling decision for the next 8 hours runs through that filter. This single habit restructures your entire relationship with time and converts reactive days into intentional ones. Here is the counterintuitive finding from decades of research on executive performance. The highest output cognitive days are almost universally preceded by physical exertion. Not because the body and mind are separate, because they aren't. Cardiovascular exercise has been shown to increase BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, a compound that accelerates neural connectivity, learning speed, and cognitive clarity. In practical terms, 30 minutes of elevated heart rate exercise produces a window of enhanced cognitive performance in the hours immediately following. The world's most effective CEOs treat their morning workout not as self-care, as performance engineering. This is structural element 4, the physical prime. The implementation: 20 to 45 minutes of cardiovascular physical activity in the morning, before the strategic work begins. Not after, before. You are not rewarding yourself with exercise after work is done. You are priming the cognitive system you need to do the work at the highest level it is capable of. The most overlooked element of a high-performance morning is how it ends. How the transition from protected morning space into the operational day is managed. Without a deliberate transition protocol, the morning's clarity collapses immediately upon contact with the first notification, email, or reactive demand. High-performing executives build a structured 15-minute bridge between morning focus time and operational mode. This typically includes a review of the day's calendar and key commitments, a confirmation of the day's single priority, and a brief mental acknowledgement that the reactive phase of the day is beginning, and that they have the cognitive reserves to navigate it well. This is structural element 5, the transition protocol. It takes 15 minutes. It preserves the entire morning's investment, and it prevents the jarring cognitive whiplash that causes most professionals to lose their morning clarity before 9 a.m. The morning you protect is only as valuable as the transition that locks it in before the day begins in earnest. 5 structural elements that separate designed mornings from defaulted ones. The no-input window. Protect your first cognitive hour from other people's agendas. The anchor habit. Signal to your brain that high-performance mode has begun. The priority identification ritual. Know your one thing before you touch any communication. The physical prime. Engineer your cognitive peak before you need it. The transition protocol. Bridge from focus to operations without losing your clarity. You don't need all 5 tomorrow. Start with the no-input window this week. Add 1 element per month. In 6 months, your mornings will look unrecognizable compared to where you began. And so will your output. If this changed how you think, subscribe. I break down these frameworks every week. The psychology, habits, and mental models of the world's highest performers, distilled into systems you can implement immediately. Drop a comment below. Which of these 5 elements are you adding to your morning first?